we're doing the butter chicken. Yeah, for that I've taken half a bay leaf, half an onion, about that much size, and about 5 tomatoes. This should be make enough for one person in a restaurant portion. And here I have a knob of butter and about 7 to 8 cashew nuts. I'm gonna soak it in warm water for about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. Also, what I'm gonna add is one of the key ingredients in Indian cuisine is ginger and garlic paste, about teaspoon. Yeah. So now I've got the pan on medium to high heat, and again the same drill, just less than 1 tablespoon of oil. The reason I'm adding less oil to this than the korma and the masala, because we don't have a lot of onion. So see, it always needs more oil to cook the onion. So we're gonna do the same drill as before. The bay leaf goes in, and then just a half an onion. So we added the ginger and garlic paste and the tomatoes. So try to use more than one type of tomatoes if it's available, easier, you know. So that way you will be able to make this beautiful curry sauce without, even before you add the spices, you have a really tasty base sauce. So you're already halfway through there, you know. That makes it, the curries, very easy and tasty. So here, you know, there is less onion, more tomatoes. I don't need to add any water. This is what I mean, you know. See, there is a lot of moisture, so I don't really need to add any more water. So the tomatoes is slightly softened. I don't need to cook it for a long time. But since it is butter chicken, if you guys like, you add a knob of butter. So that's like a tablespoon of butter. So it's like a butter tomato curry. You can see now it's already becoming smoother. See, this is what I mean. You only took about 3 minutes to make this base sauce, where for the korma it takes about 6.5 7 minutes. That's why the onions take a long time to cook. So blending makes it shorter. And here I'm going to add the cashew nuts, which are pre-soaked in warm water for 15 minutes. Again, the quantity of the cashew nuts is slightly more in the butter chicken than the masala. So within like 3.5 4 minutes cooking, the tomatoes are softened. I'm going to turn the heat off, and the drill, same as usual, I'm going to put it in a bowl, allow it to cool down. Just clear the pan. I'm just going to pour just a little bit of water, so get all the juice. So that also, you don't need to add extra water to blending. Yeah. So same as usual, since you're doing the first time, just to take a little bit of the sauce. It tastes like a tomato soup. I know I'm saying, and everyone's favorite, butter chicken gravy. So just add a little bit of water. Don't let it waste anything. A very little spoonful. You don't want to waste, trust me, because it's going to be that yummy. Now we blend it into a really nice smooth paste. Have a look. Oh, smells gorgeous. Tomato. I'm gonna pour it into the bowl. Same as usual. Never forget mom's words. Just a little bit of water. Shake it up. And then pour it. Yeah. So if you remember now, I'm gonna try the butter chicken one. This is Mamma mia, it's a tomato soup. But it's got a sour and the sweetness. Because we did add butter, it's very smooth and creamy and silky, but has a really nice tangy and a touch of sweetness. Yeah, it's the sharpest of all the base sauces. We marinated the 5 chicken with the yogurt and the spices. So I told you this is just like for the butter chicken. So you want to keep it relatively milder, otherwise what happens is it will overpower the curry. So we just don't want to do the exact chicken tikka when you do the chicken tikka, just the dry one. We don't want to put all the spices in there. So we just marinated like a chicken tikka pieces. And here I'm taking a pan with a medium to high heat. You can use either butter or ghee to grill the chicken. And I'm gonna use a little bit of ghee. So I'm gonna use about a tablespoon of ghee onto the pan, and then I'm gonna grill the chicken. So just grill it. Also, you can do is you can put in a baking tray or a grill tray in the oven, and then just grill the chicken and take it out and do the sauce. Here I'm going to do, oops. The reason we want to do it, we just want to get this, grill the chicken, we need to get like a bit of smokiness to it. That's what we're planning to do, is that you can also grill the chicken on the barbecue. So anything which gives you smoky flavor with this bit of chicken tikka flavor, it will make a really nice chicken. And meanwhile, if you come closer here, I'll show you. So we got the butter chicken gravy before, which is 80% tomato and 20% onion. To that, I've got half a teaspoon of cumin powder, just about 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder, which gives a really nice, really beautiful red color without being too hot, and half a teaspoon of garam masala. And one of the most important ingredient is called dried fenugreek leaves, or the kasuri methi. If you see, I've got a handful. This is what makes it into like a chicken masala, like a chicken tomato masala to the butter chicken. And I've got about a teaspoonful of honey. I've got some butter, I'm going to use it accordingly, and a tablespoon of fresh cream. You can use a single cream to it. Now we got the chickens grilling nicely, so we get the grilled chicken flavor. Yeah. So there is two ways. To this you can add the sauce, or as I said, you grill the chicken in an oven on a high temperature, so it gets, even if it's undercooked is fine, but as long as you get nice, grill flavor to the chicken. So that's what we're looking for. So put the oven on high heat, cook it for just 10 minutes, and that's it. You can take it out, leave the juice on, and then pour the tomato gravy we cooked earlier. Yeah. I'm just gonna add some more water. The drill, don't let anything waste. We don't want to waste this. We worked hard to make that, and it's absolutely beautiful, so don't want to waste that. Yeah. So here, I know when we did the other curries, we added spices along with the chicken. In this particular dish, I want you to educate yourself for the curry. So what you do now is have a taste of the sauce, because you will see now why I tell you is, so first, without anything, just, if you're not sure, make sure the chicken is thoroughly cooked, because it might give you bad stomach. It will give you bad stomach. and so try it. So it tastes like a chicken in a tomato soup, or it just tastes chicken. It just tastes like tomato soup. To this, just add the cumin powder, yeah, and also don't forget to add the salt, because if there is no salt, no taste. So add a pinch of salt. Just adding cumin powder. All right. So give a stir, and this is how I do when I do the cooking lesson. So every time before you add each and spice, you taste. You want to understand how each and every spice behave. See, now already goes to, from a tomato soup, it tastes like a curry. Just with one spice, just adding cumin powder, it takes away the tomato soup. You can't sell this as a tomato soup anymore. You get beaten up in the restaurant. And now I'm gonna add the Kashmiri chili powder, a teaspoon. It's up to you how hot in chili you like. So 1 teaspoon will make it like a mild to medium without being too hot. Add a bit of kick. Butter chicken has a very lot of complex flavor. You know, it's got the chili, it's got the sweetness of honey, it's got the bitterness of the fenugreek, it's got you know, the char, the smokiness of the chicken tikka, and it's got the sourness of the tomatoes, you know, the creaminess of butter and cream. So that's why it's like a very unique, very complex dish. It's one of the most favorite curries in India. Everybody loves butter chicken. In 80s and 90s, people only went to restaurant to have a butter chicken, because everything else you could eat at home. So I've just added the chili, let it simmer for a minute, and then I'm gonna just check it if I need more chili or anything else. So yeah, it did add that bit of kick. It wasn't there before. Actually, the curry now, it is hotter now than later. So don't try to reduce it now, because if it's a little bit hotter now, by the time you add the rest of the ingredients, it is going to cool down. So even if you find the curry slightly hotter, doesn't matter, because the next ingredients, they will bring it down. So I'm adding the garam masala, about half a teaspoon. Yeah. So after you add the garam masala, give it a stir. Again, the same drill, just taste it. Here you will find the curry has become tastier. So it tasted like a curry when you add the cumin. It had a bit of kick when you add the chili. Now we add the garam masala. It becomes tastier. I'm just gonna add just a touch more, because it lacked a little bit garam masala. So you always have to do that. You know, you have to taste as you go. Yeah. Now I'm gonna add the most important ingredient of all, the dried fenugreek leaves. You can see it's a good handful for one dish, but trust me, being from a chicken curry to the butter chicken, dry fenugreek is what makes it. Yeah. But when you add the dry fenugreek, if you soak it in, you can soak it in the water, but you can add it dry as it is, it's fine, you know, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to give about 30 seconds to a minute to simmer before I taste it, because otherwise you won't be able to taste the fenugreek. Meanwhile, pardon me, I'm going to also add the honey. The reason is, dry fenugreek is bitter, where honey brings the sweetness. So it kind of balances, you know, they kind of counteract each other, rather than making the curry either sweet or either bitter. So they balance it. So it gives you a bit of bitterness, a little bit of sweetness. So now I'm going to have a taste. Every time it amazes me how fenugreek is one of my favorite spices, to be honest, I have to say. How one.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna add a tablespoon of butter and give it a stir, and cream, tablespoon of cream. Just give it like give a small little stir, keep the mosaic effect, and turn it off. if you can pull this off, trust me, everyone is gonna love you. You're gonna become the curry king of the family.